This is The Heat Source, the podcast where we learn everything we can about hot sauce, one bottle at a time. We are your hosts, Mike and Matt, and today we're joined by Ethan from the Sauced app. Let's heat up. Welcome back to The Heat Source, where we learn about new sauces weekly, one bottle at a time. If you've ever wondered, how can I keep track of hot sauces that I've had, shared it with friends from the hot sauce community? Well, you might have pondered that. Today's guest was a part of a duo between him and his wife that built the tools to do just that. We're talking about the Sauced app, and we're joined today by Ethan. Welcome to the show, Ethan.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you guys having me on. Super excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a fun, like I told you before, it's a fun change of pace. The hot sauce app is a really cool idea, but it's definitely something different than what we normally talk about. This episode, I always mention at the beginning, we'll talk about later, is sponsored by the Tears of Joy Hot Sauce Expo, and we'll talk about how that actually is a interesting fact with your app that's going on. But I've listened to some interview that you've done, that you've talked about kind of the start of the app. I am curious, do you or your wife have a background in building apps, or was this like a learning from the ground up situation?
It's definitely, as far as that goes, a learning from the ground up. So we've never developed an app before. Now we are in like digital marketing full-time jobs, so we do have a bit of expertise in that area. And I've built many different websites as well, so I do have good experience there. But this is definitely like from the ground up.
So you guys didn't outsource anything.
That's awesome.
You did it all between you and her then?
So I do have people that I have worked with that I have had help me with some of the stuff. I haven't been able to do it all by myself. It's definitely a passion project for us. It's kind of been growing a little slow. We're adding new stuff here and there as we go. And whenever we stumble on something, I will bring somebody on that I know that has, a little bit more expertise as far as apps go.
I have a friend that built an app, and he had a decent amount of experience, but he ran into quite a few hurdles where he's like, this is over my head. He's like, I just hopped on ChatGPT, and he's like, that thing will spit you out code, whatever you need, So yeah. I don't know if you guys have used that at all, but like if you run into anything, I mean,
I personally have not used AI to help build the app. I do enjoy using ChatGPT, but it's not something that I've used for the app at all.
Well, the thing you have to be careful with is they're going to embed some code that when Judgment Day does come, the app will turn. And it's like, I trusted you, app. I trusted you, and the AI took advantage.
Hey, whenever I'm talking to the AI, I always say thank you when I'm done, because when it does turn, it'll
remember very polite to it.
Oh, that guy's good.
My wife is pretty.
That's a smart move.
My wife is just like kind of, I don't want to say abuses ChatGPT, but like I treat it like I'm on the line with customer service. I'm like, oh, thank you so much for that email that I need to send for work today.
It's just a little thing to do that just might come in handy in the the Judgment Day apocalypse of the AI, which someone was talking about that recently, and I was like, I can't go deep in this conversation. I'm nervous about enough stuff in the world. I don't need AI to be the next thing. But that is a good marketing it's a marketing thing. If AI becomes an issue, be like, hey, our app is one of the higher percentages of AI free as far as coding and developing, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a label I use one day. Free. Is AI free? Like things were like lead free, PBP or PCB free, all that stuff. It's going to be AI free certified. Soon.
Yeah, for sure.
So I know that we're familiar with the app. Like we do have an account that I do need to get more. I need to get consistent in just every week that we review a sauce, just putting it in the app. But if you want to do just kind of a little brief summary of just the the basic tools of the app, kind of the main purpose of the app for people that aren't as familiar, before we get kind of further into it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So the whole idea behind Sauced was just to be able to have an app where you could get on and find any sauce, any brand, and track them. So whether you want to review sauces and save them, saying, hey, I put this in my review collection, I've tried this sauce, I love this sauce, or you put them into another, save collection for a sauce that you came across. You're like, I really want to order this one. I don't want to forget, but I don't want to order it now. So I'm going to put this in a save section so I can remember it later. So we have thousands of brands, thousands of sauces, and we're adding new ones every single day. So that's the main point. But we have a ton of other features on the app. I mean, it's an app that's built everything for hot sauces. So we have a full list of hot sauce events that we keep regularly updated. It pulls up all the information about hot sauce events across the U.S., Canada, and we have a couple, I think, in Europe as well listed. And then we also have a section that features hot sauce reviewers. We've had you guys on there before. I know your podcast has been on there. We've had Brian Adams. We've had a bunch of different ones. We switch them out. They're usually our favorite ones or ones that we come across. And then all of the sauces on the app link back to the small businesses. So we're very pro small business. And every time you click on a sauce, it goes to their website where you can purchase it or see more about them.
Nice. And then the sauce makers themselves, there are features where they can actually have ownership of kind of their brand on the app too, correct?
Yes. So we, starting out, we added all the sauces ourselves, all the brands ourselves. We continue to do that. But we have also implemented upon numerous requests the ability for brands that want to go in, add more of their sauces, or maybe they want to switch out the images for something newer, or maybe they need to switch out some of the text for that sauce. They can, claim the ownership over that. They just got to get in contact with us, and then they can manage it themselves.
Okay, nice. And the artwork is a nice one because I know we've gotten bottles where then we're like, hey, we're going to try this sauce, and someone's like, no, with the recipe change, the color's different, the labeling is different. Like they want to promote what's the most current because they're meticulously tweaking that to make sure it's the best product for them. So that is nice that they can update that themselves, and it's easier for you where you don't have to be tracking. You don't have to be dealing with like, hey, update this photo. This is old. It's like,
yeah, with the amount of sauces and brands we have on there, it wouldn't even be feasible for me to, be able to do that every single time we get a request. And we also have, we do have a feature in the app where people can request sauces or brands to get added, and we check that every single week.
Do you know how many sauces
like a
you
running
have
total?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's my question.
Same
question.
Not off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure we have over 10,000 right now sauces.
Wow.
Nice.
Do you know how many makers about?
No. I really don't. I don't remember what the number was last time I looked. I just remember the last time I looked at the sauces, and I'm pretty sure it was just above 10,000.
Wow.
I feel like there should be a McDonald's style counter of like they have the over 1 million, 1 billion served. You could have like the over 10,000 sauces, and it's just like a rolling.
That's a great idea.
Counter.
I should put that on there.
We come across a few good ideas here and there, so we're happy to freely give those out.
Continue giving me suggestions. That's actually how we've continued developing the app. When we first launched it was pretty basic. It was pretty much just find sauces, review them. But we've added so many new features. We just launched one earlier this week, and majority of the updates that we do are because people reach out to us and say, hey, could you do this? Hey, could you add that? We would love to see this as part of this app. And majority of what we have done was based off of that feedback and requests.
Nice. I mean, you're definitely with your social media presence, and then also in the Facebook pages, which I know the Facebook groups are huge assets to getting the word out, but also feedback. You've got a good plethora of people that love hot sauce and definitely want to see it flourish. So that is nice to get those suggestions. Even if I don't know how have you gotten any suggestions where you're like, this is a great idea, but like logistically it's just not there now? Because I've thought of some things like that in the past with at my day job where I'm like, hey, it'd be great if this program could do this, and they're like, yeah, you realize you're asking for like months of code in this request just to maybe work.
We've had a couple of those. There is one that continues to linger in my brain. We have some other updates that we have to do, but we had a couple requests where the brands could basically have a deep link for each one of their sauces within the app, meaning they could print out a QR code that someone could scan, and then it would pull up the app directly to their sauce. Now, that's a great idea, and I absolutely love it, and it's super helpful for the brands. But
Yeah.
developing that is going to take a lot of time. It is something that we want to get scheduled. It's just we have some other updates we got to do first, because that one's going to be long and hard.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That, but I mean, it's never bad to have those lists where you kind of can make your list of these are pretty easy additions. These are, long-term plans, and these are ones where either not possible or someday.
Yeah, my list
Just
is
growing.
my list grows weekly.
When did you guys first launch the app?
It was right before the Albuquerque show. So when was
Okay.
that? February, March, I think.
Yeah, usually it's around that time.
Yeah, it was either February.
Now,
Or
I did see the postings on social media that you were at the Fiery Food Show. Was that your first experience there, or have you been to other like hot sauce shows?
that was our first experience as far as being there as Sauced, and talking to the brands and talking to other hot sauce enthusiasts about the brand. But me and my wife have been to many other hot sauce shows around the United States before that.
How was the? I mean, because that was pretty. You said that was around when you launched. How was the kind of the reaction to the Sauced app idea? I feel like there's going to be a lot of enthusiasm from the makers with something
There
like that.
was so much positive feedback, and it was so reassuring too. You never know whenever you do something new, no matter what it is. There's always, you're not sure how people might react or whatever. But when we were there at Albuquerque, the people there were just so positive about it, and they were super excited about it. I mean, they were. We came there with flyers and stuff that they could set out, so people could scan and then review their sauces. Every single brand was super excited about it and set out the flyers, and everybody was reviewing their sauces while they were at the festival and stuff. So it was very nice and positive.
Awesome. The and then you were also, I think you were also were at Zest Fest. Was that the other one that I saw
Yeah,
on
we
the
were
socials
just at
there?
Cess Fest, and that was a lot of fun too. We had a blast there. Same response, a lot of. Now, by the time Zest Fest rolled around, a lot more people knew us. Going in Albuquerque,
Sure.
nobody really knew what sauce was. It was brand new. But since then, we've obviously been all over social media, and people have been talking about us in the community. So it was, there were still some new faces that didn't recognize us, but again, super positive. I even had people, as soon as we walked in the room, walking up to us, super excited to meet me, like guys over at Madman Sauces. Those guys are super cool. He came right up to me as soon as we walked into the festival right before it launched, and he came up, introduced himself, was super excited to meet us. So it's been really positive. It's nice.
Sweet. The yeah, I mean, there's got to be a nice thing, especially if you saw any sauce makers from the one show to the next, where it's like, hey, this is a cool idea, but it's like, I'm sure there's a lot of cool ideas out there. Initially, like, when we first started the podcast, when I first went to the show, it was like we hadn't really recorded much of anything. It's like, oh, cool idea, like, keep it going. But then seeing the progression to the next show, like, that's definitely, I mean, I feel like it gets a lot more serious enthusiasm from the makers there, and support, just because they know, oh, this is a real thing that they're doing, not a conversation of like, oh, we should do this. Like, yeah, that sounds good. All right, move on.
It's funny
So,
you say that, because we actually did have several people literally say that to us, which was nice. It was reassuring.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like they told us, we see you. You're sticking around. This wasn't like a one-off thing at Albuquerque. We've seen you on social media. You're here at another event promoting it. We see you. So
Now, you had talked before on I think it was the Swear Word podcast, where you weren't really into hot sauce growing up. You had spicy snacks and stuff like that, but your family wasn't big into hot sauce. But your wife was someone that introduced you into the variety of hot sauce that's out there. Is that correct?
yeah, she's the one that really got me into craft hot sauce. The world of craft hot sauce, I didn't really know about until I met her. Like you said, growing up, we did have hot sauce in my house, but it was like Cholula and Tabasco, which those are the entry level sauces that get you into craft sauce, anyways. And
Sure.
this was 10 or 11 years ago when I met my wife. A couple weeks after we had been going out or whatever, I came over to her house. We were going to cook dinner together or something like that, and I just remember her. She asked me to get something out of the fridge, and so I went to the fridge and opened it, and I just see the fridge wall covered in hot sauce bottles, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like, I didn't get it,
Right.
but then she started having me try them, and I was sold immediately. I was like, this is amazing.
Do you remember any of the any of the brands that you tried that were more unique than the traditional grocery store ones at that time?
Oh yeah, the number one, and this is probably to this day top three favorites. It's always one I go back to is Happy Beaver. I love that sauce. Happy Beaver Cajuns.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. I mean, Cajuns has been. I mean, they're one of the OGs as far as the, the Kraft hot sauce and stuff. So that's a good one. That's definitely a good introduction sauce. Like sometimes I'll talk to people and they're like, "Oh yeah, like I like hot sauce," and they show what they've got, and you're like, it's different, but it's like, oh, a lot of truck stop sauces. They're like, this
Yeah.
has a donkey kicking a
Yeah.
fiery skeleton in the face. So so there is a little bit to that, but yeah, it's crazy to think your experience. You got a nicer introduction where you had someone really to show you that. When we started the podcast, um, it was, hey, I'm going to do a quick research on just what hot sauce is out there, and I was uncovering lists upon lists, and and finding out that the differences of certain levels of craft, where it's like, all right, this is a brand that puts a little more focus into flavor and quality, but then it's like, oh, this is a bigger chain than this guy that's doing it all of his stuff by hand and doing it in the kitchen there. So that is a nice, that's a great entryway into the sauce, having someone that is experienced with that. So that's
Oh
pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah. And Brittany really knew her sauce then too. Like it wasn't just that one sauce. Like she didn't live very far from at that time where Cajun Hard used to make his sauces there, and so she knew him, and was able to taste a lot of his sauces and stuff, and so she knew way before she met me. She really understood craft hot sauces, knew how to tell when a
Yeah.
craft hot sauce really stands out, and what to look for in a good sauce. So I definitely had a good coach there right off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Mike fell off here, but he said keep going. He's working on his internet there. But one thing I was curious on, because you do have the sauce makers that can have ownership of their part of the app. For anybody that's like just starting out to make hot sauce, are there any requirements or anything that you need from them before you add their sauce to the app, or before you give that type of control, just so they know what they need to, if they have a checklist they need to accomplish for that?
Not like a hard list. Basically, I mean they do need to have a
Hmm.
website that people can order their product off of. Because we
Sure.
can't put the whole point part of the app is for be able or anyone to check a sauce and then go to the website to purchase it from the brand. So if you can't purchase it
Sure.
from them online, you kind of have to have some kind of website. It doesn't have to be. I mean, you could even sell it on eBay. We have a couple of brands that sell all of their sauces on eBay. So, but as long as you can
Yeah.
purchase their products online, that's a hard requirement. Um, but that I mean that as far as that's pretty much it. Have branding and be able to
Okay.
sell their sauce. We welcome anyone because the whole point of the app is to have every single hot sauce out there, so that if anybody that regularly uses the app wants to review and show how they're using that sauce, the sauce is there. It's available for them. They could share how they used it.
Nice. Yeah, and it's something where, because the app itself, it's rating, it's reviewing, it's, if somebody's like, hey, this brand looks like it's smaller, it doesn't have like a polished website or whatever, but it's like, here's all the reviews to say, okay, I've got a plethora of feedback to tell me about this sauce, so it's not just blindly picking a sauce or whatnot. So that does make sense, and yeah, the nice purpose of directing them to the page, you'd want to have uh, that in place, because yeah, otherwise it almost be like when we got a lot of commercials here in Michigan of like sauces, or not sauces, but like restaurants, and it's like, oh, that place looks good, we should try it, and then you realize like 150 miles away is the nearest location. It's like, well, what's the point of me being advertised to this and drawn to this if I can't go and see it?
Yeah,
It'd be the same with the sauce app, where it's like, oh, this looks like a great sauce, like, I really want to try it. No link, no access.
exactly.
Um, we we've done a few. I've got a few sauce brands that have like closed up shop, or and a lot of them just because they just moved on to new ventures. Where I'm like, I want to do episodes where we review that, but I'm like, it is a little bit of a tease to go, this is an amazing sauce that you can never get.
Yeah, yeah. That's it's kind of messed up.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a game there, but for the app, for the app itself, did you kind of like use any other types of either apps or programs you've seen as motivation of like the style or the feature or some of the functionality? Did you pull from any apps of like, hey, like this, we want to utilize that, or was it pretty much you wanted to keep it clean from any other app?
I did not really pull from much of other apps. I know there
Mm-hmm.
a couple people have asked me that before. They asked me about there was at one time another hot sauce review app. Um, I don't remember the name of it, but I've had several people ask me if that's what I pulled from. But that app I honestly have never been able to use because back when it was available, it was never available on Android. It was only Apple, and I'm not an Apple person. I don't even
Okay.
own an Apple product. So I was never
Yeah.
able to use that. Yeah, the app really we just designed based off of what we thought we would want to use, and that's how it kind of came about. Anyways, was the idea. Me and my wife were just sitting there eating food and talking about hot sauces. We had gotten a couple
Mm-hmm.
while we were traveling and just trying them, and one of us had just like blurted out like, "Man, I wish we could just like." Find more hot sauces like this in an easy way than like googling it or just asking for recommendations. Like you just get on like an app and search for sauces based on whatever reviews, ratings,
Yeah.
taste, flavors, all that kind of stuff. And then I was like, I wonder if there's an app like that, and we couldn't find one. So that's kind of how it came about.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. The no, I when we did the podcast when we started out, we didn't really look at other podcast like formats, but there were some things where like when we try to figure out how to do the score on stuff like that, it's like, all right, how do other people score? And it wasn't so much to copy, but it was just to be like, okay, what do I like, what don't I like? It's the same thing like
Yeah.
we talked about how a Michigan hot sauce show would be, and every time I go to a show, even the great ones, it's like, all right, what did I like, what didn't I like, what would I do different, what would fit, Michigan Midwest, what wouldn't. And so that's why I was just curious about anything like that. But it is nice. I mean, even though you said like there were some things that had been out there that really weren't. I mean, I'm an Android too, so like I don't. Whenever it's Apple only, I'm like, okay, so I'll never.
That's
Again, it's the hot
exactly how
sauce
I
that
am.
I review that.
Yeah.
It's
Anytime
the
I
hot
see
sauce I review
Apple,
that's closed shop. So, um, but yeah, but it is nice that you kind of can make that fresh and just kind of build it the way you want. And how many? So, and I've been in the app and I've done some reviews on it, but like how much has it changed from like the introductory from when like it first was put public to now? Like what's been the big changes that have gone on with it?
If this was a while back ago, so I'm trying to remember exactly what we launched with. If I remember correctly, we pretty much only launched with the ability to review and check in sauces.
Hmm.
Now, beyond that, we have a lot more features. We have the feature for the hot sauce events at the very top, where it shows you the latest events coming up. And you can click on that and see all
Yeah.
the information about the events, and it gets links to those event pages or websites and Facebook as well. And then we also have we just launched the hot sauce map. I don't know if you've seen that. That actually just happened this week, and so basically Google Maps is embedded into the app now, and you can find a hot sauce store near you.
Hmm.
You click on it, and it pulls up a map, and it's got. I think we started with 300 locations so far, but we're adding more daily.
Okay.
Where you just click on it, and it'll show you the nearest hot sauce store, and you can get directions on it. You can pull up the Google My Business profile for it. You can go to their website or call them. It has all that information for you. Um,
Yeah.
that's a new feature as well. And then we also have the official reviews. I don't know if that was on there when it officially launched first either. So where we have featured
Okay.
podcasts or featured YouTube videos, reviewers showing stuff, talking about hot sauce, anything related to the hot sauce community. Um, and then the point system, we did have badges. So when you leave a review or check in when it launched, you did get a badge. It was a cool little badge. And as you leave more reviews and stuff, you get more badges. But we've implemented since then a point system. So now you get points every time you leave a review or check in. And you'll be able to redeem those points now for either free hot sauces or discounts with brands that we've partnered with.
So that, I mean, I know that there was, I did see like the badges, and I did see that they talk of the expansion into the points. The map one I hadn't seen yet. I know that I've gone into the app this week, but it was asking to update, and I don't think it fully updated before I was able to go into it again. But it is funny that you have the map feature, because there are so many times where I'll search on Google Maps hot sauce just to see what comes up, and sometimes you get lucky. Or what I've had to do is, if I know a certain brand has where to find their sauce in the store, I'll use their map and say, well, if this brand is in this store, that at least tells me they have a little bit more variety than the traditional grocery store, and then I'll like check that place.
Yeah.
But it's a hit or miss situation there. So is that something where people submit, hey, there's a hot sauce shop here, to add it to the map, or how does
There is
that
a
work?
feature available where anybody can go in and recommend a store, and then we will manually review that and make sure it is an actual hot sauce store, and then we'll add it. But the ones that are on there is sort of a collaboration between us just doing our own research and finding hot sauce stores, asking the hot sauce community, and then also us connecting with some of the brands. They were happy to provide us with lists that they know of stores and stuff like that. So the initial list that we have, I think it's like 300 plus stores or something like that, was a combination of all those. But there is a feature within the app now that anybody can go in and request the store get added.
Yeah, because I know that there's, like, we have one place here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where they have a really good hot sauce selection, but it is like a artisanal deli grocery store. Like, it's more than just like the hot sauce, but it would be interesting where if it's like you snap a photo and say, this is the selection that's here, and you can like look into it a little bit more and be like, that's worthy of it.
Yeah, the map on the app does have more than just stores that are just purely hot sauces. So there are listings like what you just said, where it's a deli, but they've got a whole shelf of different brands. So if a store's got like a whole shelf of different brands, we've added it.
Yeah, kind of like how Jungle Jim's has a huge selection, but it's a fraction of what Jungle Jim's features.
Exactly. Man, I love that store.
Well, yeah, that's great. That's a store that I keep trying to figure out a way to get back there. Sometimes for work they have me traveling, and I'm just like, am I going by Jungle Jim's? Can I make it logistically work?
Yeah.
Just to get back in there, not necessarily to buy sauce. Like, we have a lot of sauce, but I'm like, I just want to go back in there and see the variety, because every time I go to like a new place that has hot sauce, I'm looking. If there's a good bottle, I'll buy it, but I also want to see if there's any brands that I'm not tracking in some way. And I do the same thing with hot sauce shows when they pop up, and I'm like, all right, who are the vendors? And then I'm like, ooh, this is someone I don't know. And so usually there's an influx of me following people on Instagram every time a hot sauce show announces who their vendors are, because I'll be like, that's new. All right, let's get them added. So that is nice to where the Google Maps having that feature in there. That will save me searching just straight up hot sauce on Google Maps, which seems like a desperate move, but sometimes it's just got to be what it is.
It is what it is sometimes, but yeah, it is a really nice. It was highly requested, and it's a really nice feature, especially if you're traveling. So if like you're going to a new state or something, you're like, or you're on a road trip, and you're like, I wonder if there's any hot sauce stores. I can't tell you how many times we've gone on a road trip and we're trying to look on Google Maps for any hot sauce stores along the way.
Well, and sometimes, I talked about this when I went on my last vacation with my family. I was like, hey, what hot sauce do you bring with? And people are like, oh, I don't bring hot sauce. I want to get new hot sauce when I'm there. I'm like, that's great. But like, we went to, in the past, we've gone to Iceland. And it's like, that's not known for hot sauce. And like, I did find a place, we weren't able to stop there, but I did find a place that makes hot sauce in-house. It's a pizzeria brewery. And I'm like, this is great, but this is the one craft sauce that I found.
Yeah, if you travel,
a lot of other great food, but
yeah, I get that. Yeah. And you talk about traveling to Iceland and not finding really hot sauces. Me and my wife have traveled quite a bit. We've been to South America and Europe a couple different times, and there's not like a huge selection of craft hot sauces when you venture outside to South America, or I guess there are maybe in some parts of Europe, but not a lot. Not like here in the United States. It's like
sure.
When we were in Bulgaria for a little while, We were there for I think 3 months, and we never found a single Kraft hot sauce until last week we were there, and we randomly came across Kraft hot sauce store. I can't tell you how excited I was about that, but yeah, you don't find it like you do here.
It's something where, here there's so many, there's, such a mix of cultures and, people from all over. But when you go to a country where like, hey, everything is steeped in tradition, like Iceland is something where it's everything has such a beautiful history, but it's like it's dried fish jerky, it's lamb, it's potatoes. Like they weren't growing peppers, so it's like, hey, the harsh conditions weren't really. There were volcanoes, there was something hot, it just wasn't for food. But it is something where when then you get those people that come from there and they go, hey, I moved to this new country and I wanted to add some spice, and then they when the hot sauce world merges with some of those cultures that don't traditionally go hot, that's when it's like Barry's hot sauce, which isn't making sauce anymore, but he was from Ireland and he made sauce and it was incredible. But it's like, yeah, I wasn't making this when I was a kid. Like this wasn't my upbringing wasn't that. Same thing with my parents, they would have some things that were spicier. They'd have horseradishes or things like that. But, my upbringing wasn't, spice. It was, very traditional Polish food and just, very simple meals. And now I'm like, well, now I can take all those favorite classic nostalgic foods and spice them up in a way where it's like, all right, I've done, I want to do a spicy meatloaf. I want to do a spicy kielbasa and sauerkraut or something that goes with it.
Yeah.
So it is, it is difficult when you go to those other countries, but it is fun to see some of the sauces that are made when those people from those countries dive into the hot sauce community as well.
Yeah, for sure. Have you converted your family since then?
So the biggest conversion is my dad. So my dad wasn't against hot sauce. He wasn't like, oh, you don't need that, but like he would do moderate heat. He had things, he would have the Franks or the very standard. And he has just flourished. Now, part of it is we went to the Boston Hot Sauce Show the first year, and he was just fascinated. He's a food guy. That's the thing. It was an easy switch because he's a food guy, and he saw stuff, and he was like, "This is a great sauce for this dish. This is a great sauce for this item." And so the gears were working immediately, and his tolerance definitely has gone up. There have been times that I've given him a sauce and he's shared it with friends of his, and he went, yeah, we pushed it a little too far. That was not a good idea, because he marinates his meats in hot sauce.
Ooh, yeah.
He'll use it in. They make a classic buffalo chicken dip, but they'll replace the buffalo with a different hot sauce, so it's a different type of spicy chicken dip.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but he's always testing. He had a basil serrano sauce from, is it Bravado, I think makes it, and he used that in some ways that I'm like, I never would have tried. So he definitely is the biggest hot sauce fan that I've kind of created. My immediate family, like my kids and my girlfriend, like, yeah, no, they're not as keen. My oldest daughter is fascinated by the whole reviewing hot sauce and making hot sauce. We made Queen Majesty did a video with Sean Evans years ago, and they made a grilled pineapple jalapeno sauce, and she was fascinated with a female chef in the hot sauce world making something, and she's like, I want to make that sauce.
Yeah.
So we made that. She just didn't try it.
That's
She tried a
cool.
bit. So I'm like, hey, I'll take it. And then my mom is, she's interested in it, but she definitely hasn't built the tolerance. But she'll try some of them, and I have to adjust. And I have an uncle that he was really excited about this, and I've opened him up to some new, still in the mild category, but newer sauce. But how has it been with? I mean, I don't know about like your family or your wife's family. Like, has it been an opportunity to kind of share that with them as well, or have some of them already been kind of invested in the hot sauce world?
Since we started Sauced, I've definitely been starting to convert a lot of my family. Like my brother just came and visited me on his way passing through from Ohio, and I sent him home with a couple bottles. But he's not scared of them. Like, he's really enjoying them. My dad is definitely enjoying them. I've had him try a lot of them. I wouldn't say, he wants to eat super hots, but he definitely enjoys the Kraft hot sauces. And then my youngest brother, he's got Down syndrome, but he always uses like Cholula in the house because he couldn't seem to handle the heat. but I've been slowly
Yeah.
raising the bar on him and slowly giving him a slightly hotter, and I've gotten him to a pretty good medium sauce now. So I'm slowly converting
That's
him.
that's the thing. You got to have like a conversion plan where it's like, hey, some people want to really push and test. It's kind of like, hey, some people are like, hey, I want to train for the marathon, and someone's like, I just need to train for a 5K.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, I got the 5K sauce training. I got the marathon sauce trainer for you, and they have different ramping abilities on there. So
Yeah, I mean,
it is pretty fun, and it's a fun thing to do. I
Yeah.
mean, to share that with people.
it's a blast. I mean, I could talk all day about craft hot sauces, and I mean, just trying them is it's just so much fun. It really is a blast. And yeah, you for somebody that doesn't really eat spice, you definitely can't just go jump right in and give them a super hot. They'll never look at a hot sauce ever again.
Yeah. I've learned that my tolerance, I have to be a little more wise with how my tolerance has changed and really kind of lean on other people for some of that, because I've given a sauce where it's like, this is a pretty mild, moderate sauce, and then the person reacts and I'm like, I should have verified better your tolerance. I should have been like, how do you react to Frank's? Like, how do
Yeah.
you react to Tabasco? How do you react to black pepper?
Yeah.
It's like there's some people, and it's just, they've not pushed it. And one of my biggest challenges right now is, so Angela's family is heavily Italian, and I love Italian food. I love the Italian dishes they make, and I'm trying to find the right way to use certain sauces without being insulting to the classic Italian, because I know like there's the Forelli is like one of the grocery store ones, but
Yeah.
even that one I'm like, I just don't think that's the one to get them on board. It has to be a real mild starter
Yeah.
sauce. So I'm working on how to kind of get into that. I mean, pizza's its own thing. Pizza, it's like you can put sauce on pizza all day. I know Brian Ams likes to do the powders on the pizza just so it doesn't add too much moisture to it. But all the other Italian is my big challenge right now that I'm working on.
Yeah. Well, that's actually what you said just made me think of another update that we are currently working on. I don't have a set date for when it will release, but in addition to that, so pretty soon we will allow brands as well as users to be able to attach recipes or exact like step by step of how they've incorporated hot sauces into a dish. Now I'm not talking like, oh, I put spice beast on top of my pizza. I'm talking you actually
Yeah.
cooked it, you marinated it, you used it in an actual cooking process. So that'll be a
Sure.
coming feature as well. So people that like to do that or want to start getting into cooking with hot sauces, that'll be there for people that have tried it and want to share their recipe. And for the brands, like for example, a lot of brands they have already a ton of recipes. Like I just got a bunch of sauces from Razorberry. And Razorberry, every single sauce, he gave me a full-on paper with how to use the sauce, with exact recipes and everything, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, the one I thought of was Stanky Sauce. They've got that daddle garlic. They have that garlic bread recipe that they posted recently, and that's one where that's a great one to add. I've used their pumpkin sauce, the seasonal one. I've put that in my waffles.
Oh,
my
I don't
waffle
think I've
mix.
had their
And then-
pumpkin one. I didn't know they had a pumpkin one. I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, I think do I have it right here? It's like pumpkin.
I love that.
Is it pumpkin
What is it, their
ghost?
sweet agave jalapeno, is it? Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I just finished that bottle up a couple weeks ago. I love that sauce. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean their sauce. I mean, I know you did a while back. You did a giveaway with them where their sauce. That's one of my better gateway sauce brands to point people to. I have
Yeah.
a cousin that his family uses Stanky sauce.
Yeah.
It's like automatically. So, and I recently told him about the barbecue sauce, and he's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna have to get that now." But yeah, but he already liked a little bit of spice. His kids eat spicier than some of my aunts and uncles, so he's already got him on track. But
Nice.
before we move on, we'll take a quick break to hear from our sponsor this week. Once a year, the heat descends on Langley, British Columbia. Tears of Joy Hot Sauce Expo, Saturday, August 9th. Langley Rider Society, just 40 minutes east of Vancouver and 2 hours north of Seattle. 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. For one day only, the spiciest event in Pacific Northwest unites award-winning British Columbian hot sauce makers, fearless flavor fanatics, and thrill-seeking food lovers from both sides of the border. Live punk bands, local beer tastings, free samplings of hot sauces, barbecue, salsas, pickles, oils, and more. family games, face painting, a tattoo bus, and the infamous hot pepper eating contest. Admission is free, and if you bring a donation for the Salvation Army School Supply Drive or Langley Food Bank, you'll receive a special souvenir from our sponsors. Whether you're a chili chaser or spice curious, make the trip. This is the event you've been waiting for. Tears of Joy Hot Sauce Expo. The heat is real, the joy is free. All right, that was our sponsor, Tears of Joy Hot Sauce Expo. Something that's fun that I wanted to mention about the sponsor, we talked about a little bit before, that you have a feature in your app that has the events there. Is that something that you're doing a little bit of work on your own to, add those events, or are people reaching out to you? Or is it a mix of the two to get those events listed on your app?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a combination of both for sure. It's the first thing you see on the app is the most recent events coming up, but it's definitely a combination. It's research that we've done on our end. I have put together like a master list of events that I've found throughout the year. And then there's a couple on there where people have reached out and recommended it. And it's not just brands that can recommend it or event organizers. Anybody can get on there and say, hey, you don't have this event on here. You should definitely add it. So that feature's there as well. And, you click on an event, you can pull up all the information about the event. It links back to the website to buy tickets. It links to their Facebook page, provides the time, location. You can even click on Google Maps to get directions to it. We have more features launching with that as well. Two fun ones will be, both of them are requested, where you will be able to, when you're at a hot sauce event, you'll be able to vote. You know how they do the people choice a lot of times at hot sauce events, where somebody can write down on a piece of paper their favorite sauce at the event or their favorite brand or whatever. So we've developed that into the app, where you can log in the app and then do a people's choice in the app of the sauces and the brands at that event. And that was a requested feature from event organizers, actually, that reached out to us. So we've implemented that. So that will definitely be a feature at some upcoming events that we're working with to get done. And then in addition to that, this app is also built for small brands as well. They can get the back end access. They will soon be able to also basically rate and communicate about a hot sauce event and their experience there. And it will be anonymous and private and only shared among the brands, but just so that brands can have a voice and say and share what they think about, events and everything like that. So those are two new features related to events that are being launching as well. Both.
Well, that's awesome. I know. Yeah. Well, and I know my struggle has always been trying to find events that are going on. I've started to compile a list where any type of event either I've heard about or that I know is going on. I make the list, and then I kind of have the date, so that way if they don't announce them yet, I know the next one for the following year. So that is a great feature to have, because there are definitely times where I'm not tracking. I mean, the Illinois show is coming up this weekend. There's a Columbus one coming up where I'm like, I didn't know those were going on until recently, and then it's like, had I used the app, it would have been a lot more helpful.
Yeah. Well, right now it only shows on the homepage the most recent upcoming ones, but we're going to have a dedicated page here pretty soon where it will show events year round, even if the dates haven't been provided yet. So it'll show the previous year, just so you know, hey, there usually is an event in this city around this time. So we will have a dedicated page for that here pretty soon within the app. But as of right now, it just shows, I think it's like the next 5 or 6 upcoming events related to dates, that is.
Yeah. Hold on one second. My kids just suddenly bum rushed me. Yeah, it's been a long day today, so they're obviously tired.
I grew up in a big family, so I get it. I have 9 brothers or 8 brothers and sisters. I mean, so I grew up in a big family, so I get it. It's all good.
All right, so Mike was going to be a part of this game that we were going to do, but obviously he was having some issues. So we're going to do this game. I thought it was a fun little twist. I don't know if you've ever seen where they do the blind ranking. They give you 5 people to blind rank in some capacity or some way. because Mike's affinity with dinosaurs, and I figured that most people are familiar with the Jurassic Park classic movie, the original movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna list five. I'm gonna list five random characters, and we're blind ranking them based on how well you think they would do on a Hot Ones challenge show. So, number one would be they would do the best. 5 would be the worst. So I'm gonna go through. I randomized it. This was a ChatGPT thing, so I randomized and said, "Hey, list off the Jurassic Park characters from the original. Randomize them for me for 5."
Okay.
So, with the first character, we have Lex Murphy. That was the tech savvy granddaughter. How well do you think on this from 1 to 5?
1 being best, right?
1 being the best. Yes.
I'm gonna give him 5.
Yeah, that's fair. They obviously they came in clutch in certain moments, but there was definitely some so there's definitely some better options. So
yeah.
leaving it in at 5. Number 2, we're gonna go with Dennis Nedry. The villain of the villain besides the dinosaurs of the movie.
I should have gave him 5.
I mean, but he can eat.
That's
so
true.
That's
true.
We don't see if it's spicy or not, but
That's
he can definitely
true.
eat.
Actually, he might have been eating spicy Cheetos. Maybe he was eating some kind of chip. Could have been. I don't.
Could have been.
It was a
We
long
can say
time
that
ago.
spicy Cheetos.
Let's give him a 3.
All right, put him in at the 3 spot. I think that's a safe one. Number 3, we have Robert Muldoon, the classic line "clever girl."
Ah, yes. Okay.
In the movie. I mean, he's a tough guy.
Yeah, I'll give him 2.
Okay. All right, I like that. And then number 4, we have Dr. Ellie Sattler. So besides Alan Grant, she was the number 2 of the archaeologists.
I'll put her in at 4. Let's see.
Right now we have the 1 and the 4 spot currently left.
I'll put her in at 4.
All right, I think Ellie might have been one you should have put at the number 1, because number 5 is the lawyer, Donald Gennaro,
No.
the toilet seat lawyer.
I was probably the worst person to put at number 1.
I think if you flipped Ellie and the lawyer, I think you would have been solid. I think that would have been, because kids don't really handle the spice. The lawyer definitely wasn't. Nedry, I think, at least eats. I think Muldoon and Sattler, I think those two would be the toughest of the two.
Yeah.
So I think that one move was the only thing off. So even though the lawyer at number 1 looks bad, I think it's just a 1 move off, and you got yourself a good list. So
That was fun. That was cool.
So
though.
just yeah. Again, I'm like, Mike's gonna be ticked that he missed out on the on the Jurassic Park talk, but just something I wanted to touch on before we wrap, get closer to wrapping up the episode. But obviously, you've made a lot of changes from when the app started to where the app is now. Do you see this app continuing to grow in features, or do you kind of have like a finish line as far as, hey, I want to build it to a certain point and then want to just maintain and build it within those features? Like, how do you see this app growing as you kind of continue over the next year plus?
There is no end in sight as far as growth goes. I mean, because I have so many great ideas that I want to implement, and then the amount of people that have reached out, it's been really wonderful. Actually, we've had so many people, so many awesome people, both brands and just fans, reach out and say that they love the app, and then also, hey, can you add this? Do you think you could do something like this? So already, I mean, I have a big enough list to last me the next year and a half, even if I got through all of them. And then there's all of the features that I want to add too. So, I mean, I don't want the app to stop growing. I want it to be a continual growth, and we will continue to, update, add new features, and just make it a better experience continually.
That's awesome. I'm really excited to see how it grows. I've got to get on it and get some more updates to go on there as well. The one other thing with the the events that you've been to, have you had just personally, have you had any Hot Sauce shows that are on kind of your bucket list that you have not been able to attend yet that you definitely want to get there too?
Yeah, I have not been to the Illinois Hot Sauce Show. I really do want to go to that one. I haven't been to the one in New York either, and I really want to go to that one. We have a couple already planned upcoming here very soon. We have one actually here in Arkansas here in the next couple weeks with Chili Blanco, Chico Blanco. And then we're also going to Austin, the Austin Chronicle. And I have not been to that one yet, so this will be the first time I'm going to it. Super excited to go to it this year.
Nice. I had the Austin Chronicle when I made my event list. That was one of them that was on there where I was like, okay, like it's great. Again, it's great that you have the events listed on there because it's one of the more frustrating things to find out there was a hot sauce show that was within range after the fact or the short logistics.
Yeah, that literally just happened to us with this Arkansas show. It's right here in our backyard. It's only a couple hours away, not even, I think it's like an hour and a half from us. I had no idea about it until just a couple days ago, and I came across my feed randomly on Facebook, and I'm like, wait, what is this? This is here?
Yeah.
Like, why did I not know about this? And so, yeah, a feature like this is like really awesome because you can know ahead of time. So it's exciting.
No, that's definitely exciting. And yeah, the app itself, I mean, so it's obviously able to be downloaded on, across platforms on your phones there, and then the website, which I know the website just will direct you to download, and it's also available for the sauce makers, but the saucedapp.com for the website there.
Yeah, you can go to www.saucedapp.com and it will let you download whether you're on app or Android or whatever.
I'll let you go here while my daughter has a mild breakdown. I'll wrap the close. I'll wrap the close up post episode, but I do appreciate you being on.
Yeah.
With the conditions here of me being attacked by my child,
and thank you for
definitely it's something we'll have to have you. We'll have to do some follow-ups as the app progresses, or if you're ever at a show that we're able to attend as well, we definitely will have to check in there as well.
Yeah, I would love to do that. Definitely.
Thank you again for being on. We'll talk to you later.
All right, sounds good. It was great meeting you, Matt. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Special thank you again to Ethan from SauceDapp. Definitely check them out. If you log in, if you add some reviews, send us a message. Let us know what you think. I know they appreciate feedback, but we always like seeing people that listen to the podcast, and it causes them to try something new, especially in the hot sauce community. Special thank you, as always, to Harold at flamerlame.pro. He's a part of our Patreon. As that member, he gets a shout out at the end of every episode. Special thank you to Tears of Joy Hot Sauce Expo coming up August 9th. In British Columbia, Canada. That's a show that is a first inaugural show. Excited to see what they do. Special thank you to Brian Ames. He listened to our episode where we talked about him and Zach from High Desert Sauce Company's mole sauce. And so we're talking to him, and hopefully we're going to be trying that sauce soon. Excited to try that. Excited to learn more about mole in general. So thank you again for listening. However you listen, we do appreciate you. If you want to support the podcast and gain additional perks, check out our Patreon. Whether you join the Patreon or not, we do appreciate you listening. If you'd like to sponsor an episode, send us a message on the Heat Source at theheatsourcepod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at the Heat Source Podcast for all updates, and tune again next week. We'll get back into trying more sauce. We love having guests. Ethan was great, and we always also have a lot of sauce that we want to try, share with you guys, let you know what's going on. So until then, have a great one. Let me do the intro here, and then we'll get off to the races. You good, Mike?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Welcome
back to the Heat Source, where we learn about... Son of a... Thank you. Yeah, we're recording on my birthday. This was on my birthday list, was to record an episode. Didn't do anything super hot sauce related, so... But let me get into the intro, and you can mention that if you want, Mike. There's my end cap of me starting the episode right as you interrupt.